Why, hello and how are you? Hey friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shadow Briscoe, coming to you from right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, today's Monday, May the 10th, 2021. Got a happy birthday shout out going out to Archie Hall. That's right, hey Arch. And Judith Coleman. So, without further ado, here are the two songs, the birthday songs for the two of you. I said, hey Archie, hey Judith, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So, happy birthday, I must say. You know, you're 1 more year older today, so happy birthday to you, I say. I said, hey Judith, hey Archie, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Well, that's another trip around the sun that you made. You know, I hope you're enjoying your very special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day. Happy birthday to you and many more. You cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. How about them Shen Show likers? That's right. Martin Kelly and Jamie O'Driscoll, Tina Kleeschulte Ashbrook, Gina Cornites Daniel, and then my Pokey pal, Amanda Sue Little, and then my Shen Show sharer, Steve Clary. That's right. All my shout-outs are getting her done. How about Refreshing Word Fellowship is going to sponsor our weather today? That's right, they're located at 2054 Tempest Drive, St. Charles, Missouri, 63301. That's right, Refreshing Word Fellowship Church. Come on in, enjoy the services starting at 11 a.m. on Sundays, and then Wednesdays at 1:30 have prayer meetings. So come on in and enjoy, and bring your prayer wishes with you. We've got an open door. Help you. That's what we're here for, Refreshing Word Fellowship. Alrighty, and now let's see what we can do here. We got some weather forecasting going on. For the remainder of the night, you know, it's a few passing clouds with low temperatures dipping down around 42 degrees Fahrenheit with winds light and variable. And then for tomorrow, May the 11th, cloudy skies with high temperatures around 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy overnight with low temperatures around 41 degrees Fahrenheit. And winds are going to be east and northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then, let's see here, how about Wednesday, May the 12th? Partly cloudy skies with highs around 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be east to northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies overnight with lows around 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be east to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Thursday, May the 13th, partly cloudy skies with highs around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds east to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies overnight with a few passing clouds. Lows around 46 degrees Fahrenheit and winds light and variable. Alrighty. And then Friday, boy, I tell you what, a lot of background noise, but that's okay. Partly cloudy skies in the morning, and we'll give way to cloudy skies during the afternoon. Highs are going to be around 71 degrees Fahrenheit with winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies during the evening, and a few showers developing later on during the night. Low temperatures are going to be around 53 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be light and variable, and chances of rain 30%. One more day for our 5-day forecast. Saturday, May the 15th. Cloudy with some showers. Highs around 69 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 50%. Rain overnight with low temperatures around 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, chances of rain 70% and rainfall around an inch deep. So, there you go. There you have your rain for your weather forecast. And let's follow it up by a word from our sponsor, the official roofer. The official roofer, Jessica Nicole, who does anything from insurance claims to making bids. Right, roofing repairs, siding, gutters, downspouts, and she is your one call for it all. 636-358-3960. That's right, the official roofer, Jessica Nicole. She says that her specialty is gutters. She likes doing gutter work. Alright, well, alrighty then. Okie dokie, let's see what else we got here on the agenda. How about a song? You made me cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? My tears fell like rain. Ain't that a shame? And you're the one to blame. You broke my heart when you said we'll part. Ain't that a shame? My tears, they fell like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. Oh well, goodbye. Although I'll cry, ain't that a shame? Oh, my tears, they fell like rain. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. You made me cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? All my tears, they fell like rain. Ain't that a shame? And you're the one to blame. Oh well, goodbye. Although I'll cry, ain't that a shame? You made my tears fall like rain. Ain't that a shame? Alright, let's see. How about somebody else? How about something? Oh, here's a stretch. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright summer's day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, are also the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow old. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Alright. Hey, I done my bestie, Louie. That was my best Louis Armstrong. I do not own the rights to either one of those songs, so don't go copyrighting me, folks. Please. Copyright police getting on me. Alright, you know what? Today's children's story is going to be brought to you by Thankful Nests by Jeannie Christopher. That's right, available at AmazonBooks.com. Yes, Amazon.com, Brightside Bookshop, and Patch.com. Anywhere you can find books, well, you just might be able to find Thankful Nests by Jeannie Christopher. Children's books, that's sirree, Bob, that's what she writes. That's the first one. The Thankful Nests is the first one in a hopefully long listed series. Alrighty then, here we go. My father's dragon meets the cat. My father meets the cat. One cold rainy day, when my father was a little boy, he met an old alley cat on his street. The cat was very drippy and uncomfortable, so my father said, "Wouldn't you like to come home with me?" Well, the surprised This surprised the cat, and she had never before met anyone who cared about old alley cats. But she said, "I'd be very much obliged if I could sit by a warm furnace and perhaps have a saucer of milk." "Well, we have a very nice furnace to sit by," said my father, "and I'm sure my mother has an extra saucer of milk." So my father and the cat became good friends. But my father's mother was very upset about the cat. She hated cats, particularly ugly old alley cats. Elmer Elevator. She said to my father, "If you think I'm going to give that cat a saucer of milk, you're very wrong. Once you start feeding stray cats, you might as well expect to feed every stray cat in town, and I'm not going to do that." Well, this made my father very sad, and he apologized to the cat because his mother had been so rude. He told the cat to stay anywhere and that somehow he would bring her a saucer of milk each day. Well, my father fed the cat for 3 weeks, but one day his mother found the cat's saucer in the cellar, and she was extremely angry. She whipped my father and threw the cat out the door. But later on, my father sneaked out and found the cat. Together they went for a walk in the park and tried to think up nice things to talk about. Well, my father said, "When I grow up, I'm going to have an airplane. Wouldn't it be wonderful to fly just anywhere you might think of?" "Would you like to fly very, very much?" asked the cat. "I certainly would. I'd do anything if I could fly." "Well," said the cat, "if you'd really like to fly that much, I think I know of a sort of a way you might get to fly while you're still a little boy." "You mean you know where I could get an airplane?" "Well, not exactly an airplane, but something even better. As you can see, I am an old cat now, but in my young days I was quite a traveler. My traveling days are over, but last spring I took just one more trip and sailed to the island of Tangerine. Well, stopping at the port of Cranberry Mall. Well, it just so happened that I missed the boat, and while waiting for the next, I thought I'd look around a bit. I was particularly interested in a place called Wild Island, which we had passed on our way to Tangerine. Wild Island and Tangerine are joined together by a long string of rocks, but people never go to Wild Island because it's mostly jungle and inhabited by very wild animals. So I decided to go across the rocks and explore it for myself. It certainly is an interesting place, but I saw something there that made me want to weep. Let's read chapter 2. So my father runs away. Wild Island is practically cut in two by a very wide and muddy river, continued the cat. This river begins near one end of the island and flows into the ocean at the other. Now, the animals there are very lazy, and they used to hate having to go all the way around during the Christmas rush. All the way around at the beginning of the river to get to the other side of the island. It made visiting inconvenient and mail deliveries slow, particularly during the Christmas rush. Crocodiles could have carried passengers and mail across the river, but crocodiles are very moody and not the least bit dependable, and are always looking for something to eat. They don't care if the animals have to walk around the river, so that's just what the animals did for many years. "But what does all this have to do with airplanes?" asked my father, who thought that the cat was taking taking an awful long time to explain. "Be patient, Elmer," said the cat, as she went on with the story. "One day, about 4 months before I arrived on Wild Island, a baby dragon fell from a low-flying cloud onto the bank of the river. He was too young to fly very well, and besides, he had bruised one of his wings quite badly, so he couldn't get back to his cloud. The animals found him soon afterward, and everyone said, 'Why this is just exactly what we've needed all these years.' They tied a big rope around his neck and waited for the wing to get well. This was going to end all their crossing the river troubles." "I've never seen a dragon," said my father. "Did you see him? How big is he?" "Oh, yes, indeed, I saw the dragon. In fact, we became great friends," said the cat. "I used to hide in the bushes and talk to him when nobody was around. He's not a very big dragon, about the size of a large black bear, although I imagine he's grown quite a bit since I left. He got a long tail and yellow and blue stripes. His horns and eyes and the bottoms of his feet are bright red, and he has gold-colored wings." "Well, oh, wow, wonderful," said my father. "What did the animals do with him when his wings got well?" "Well, they started training him to carry passengers, and even though he is just a baby dragon, they worked him all day and all night too. Sometimes they make him carry loads that are much too heavy, and if he complains, they twist his wings and beat him. He's always tied to a stake on a rope just long enough to go across the river. His only friends are the crocodiles, who say hello to him once a week if they don't forget. Really, he's the most miserable animal I've ever came across. When I left, I promised I'd try to help him some day, although I couldn't see how. The rope around his neck is about the biggest, toughest rope you could imagine. With so many knots, it would take days to untie them all. Anyway, when you were talking about airplanes, you gave me a good idea. Now, I'm quite sure that if you were able to rescue the dragon, which wouldn't be the least bit easy, he'd let you ride him most anywhere, provided you were nice to him. Of course, how about trying it?" And so, "Oh, I'd love to," said my father, and he was so angry at his mother for being rude to the cat that he didn't feel the least bit sad about running away from home for a while. So that very afternoon, my father and the cat went down to the docks to see about ships going to the island of Tangerina. Well, they found out that a ship would be sailing the next week, so right away they started planning for the rescue of the dragon. The cat was a great help in suggesting things for my father to take with him. She told him everything she needed to know about Wild Island. Of course, she was too old to go along. Everything had been kept very secret, so when they found out or bought anything to take on the trip, they hid it behind a rock in the park. The night before my father sailed, he borrowed his father's knapsack, and he and the cat packed everything very carefully. He took chewing gum, 2 dozen pink lollipops, a package of rubber bands, black rubber boots, a compass, a toothbrush, and a tube of toothpaste, 6 magnifying glasses, a very sharp jackknife, a comb, and a hairbrush, 7 hair ribbons of different colors, an empty grain bag with a label saying cranberry, some clean clothes, and enough food to last my father while he was on the ship. He couldn't live on mice, so he took 25 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and 6 apples, because that's all the apples he could find in the pantry. Well, when everything was packed, my father and the cat went down to the docks to the ship. A night watchman was on duty, so while the cat made loud, queer noises to distract his attention, my father ran over the gangplank onto the ship. He went down into the hold and hid among some bags of wheat. The ship sailed early the next morning. Let us read another chapter. Yes, let's. One more chapter, and we'll call it a day for the reading, and we'll read some more tomorrow. Well, my father finds the island. My father hid in the hold for 6 days and nights. Twice he was nearly caught when the ship stopped to take on more cargo. But at last he heard a sailor say that the next port would be Cranberry, and that they'd be unloading the wheat there. My father knew that the sailors would send him home if they caught him. So he looked in his knapsack and took out a rubber band and the empty grain bag with the label saying Cranberry. At the last moment, my father got inside the knapsack and got inside the bag, knapsack and all, folded the top of the bag inside and put the rubber bands around the top. He didn't look just exactly like the other bags, but it was the best that he could do. Now soon the sailors came to unload. They lowered a big net into the hold and began moving the bags of wheat. Suddenly one sailor yelled, "Great Scott! This is the queerest bag of wheat I've ever seen. It's all lumpy, but the label says it goes to Cranberry." Well, the other sailors looked at the bag too, and my father, who was in the bag, of course, tried even harder to look like a bag of wheat. Then another sailor felt the bag, and he just happened to get a hold of my father's elbow. "I know what this is," he said. "This is a bag of dried corn on the cob." And he dumped my father into the big net along with the bags of wheat. Now, this all happened in the late afternoon, so that the merchant in Cranberry, who had ordered the wheat, didn't come count his bags until the next morning. He was a very particular man and never late for dinner. The sailors told the captain, and the captain wrote down on a piece of paper they had delivered 160 bags of wheat and 1 bag of dried corn on the cob. They left the pieces of paper for the merchant and sailed away that evening. Well, my father heard the letter that the merchant spent the whole next day counting and recounting the bags and feeling each one to try to find the bag of dried corn on the cob. He never found it, because as soon as it was dark, my father climbed out of the bag, folded it up, and put it back in his knapsack. He walked along the shore to a nice sandy place and lay down to sleep. Well, my father was very hungry when he woke up the next morning, and just as he was looking to see if he had anything left to eat, something hit him on the head. It was a tangerine. He had been sleeping right under a fruit tree full of big, fat tangerines, and then he remembered that this was the island of Tangerine. Tangerine trees grew wild everywhere. Well, my father picked as many as he had room for, and which was 31, and started off to find Wild Island. While walking along the shore, he looked for the rocks that joined the two islands. He walked all day, and once when he met a fisherman and asked him about Wild Island, the fisherman began to shake and couldn't talk for a long while. It scared him that much, just thinking about it. Finally he said, "Many people have tried to explore Wild Island, but not one has come back alive. We think they were eaten by the wild animals." This didn't bother my father. He kept walking and slept on the beach again that night. It was beautifully clear the next day, and way down the shore my father could see a long line of rocks leading into the ocean. Well, anyway, away out at the end he could just see a tiny patch of green. He quickly ate 7 tangerines and started down the beach, and it was almost dark when he came to the rocks. But there, way out in the ocean, was the patch of green. He sat down and rested a while, remembering that the cat had said, "If you can go out to the island at night, because then the wild animals won't see you coming along the rocks, you can hide when you get there." So my father picked 7 more tangerines, put on his black rubber boots, and waited for dark. It was very dark, a black night, and my father could hardly see the rocks ahead of him. Sometimes they were quite high, and sometimes the waves almost covered them, and they were slippery and hard to walk on. Sometimes the rocks were far apart, and my father had to get a running start and leap from one to the next. After a while he began to hear a rumbling noise. It grew louder and louder as he got nearer to the island. At last it seemed as if he was right on top of the noise, and he was. He had jumped from a rock onto the back of a small whale, who was fast asleep and cuddled up between 2 rocks. The whale was snoring and making more noise than a steam shovel, so it never heard my father say, "Oh, I didn't know that was you," and it never knew my father had jumped on its back by mistake. Well, for 7 hours my father climbed and slipped and leapt from rock to rock. But while it was still dark, he finally reached the very last rock and stepped off into Wild Island. Okay, looks like we're going to save the rest of this story for tomorrow. Okay? Let's do that. Okay. We'll save the rest of that story, My Father's Dragon, for tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Looks like it's time for our portion of the program called Our Daily Bread. And Our Daily Bread is going to be brought to you today by The Bible with Briscoe 2021. The Bible with Briscoe 2021 is a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Today's reading is going to be 2 Kings 10 through 12 and John 1, 29 through 51. So don't forget to tune into the Bible with Briscoe 2021 for your daily reading of the Bible. Okay, let's see. Singing Over Us. That will be our devotion for today, and today's scriptures will be Zephaniah 3, 14 through 17. Sing, daughter Zion, shout aloud, Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all your heart, daughter Jerusalem. The Lord has taken away your punishment, and he has turned back your enemies. The Lord, the King of Israel, is with you. Never again will you fear any harm. On that day they will say to Jerusalem, do not fear, Zion, do not let your hands hang limp. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. And there you have it. That was Zephaniah 3:14 through 17, singing over us. Okay, hey, that looks like the end of the Daily Bread portion of the program that was brought to you today by The Bible with Frisco 2021, a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Do not forget to tune into the Daily Bread, the Bible with Frisco 2021 for your daily reading of the Bible. All right, my friends, hey, this has been Shen Show of Frisco saying hello and how are ya? We got one more song for you, and that'll be hello, goodbye, my friends, it's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Yes, goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Alrighty then, hey, that's it for me. This here's been Shen Show Briscoe. You know, God loves you, and so do I, so come back and see me tomorrow, because, well, hey, I'll be here, and I hope that you are too.